Nigel has come to meet bankruptcy expert Dr. Catherine Macmillan.
Catherine, thank you so much for seeing me.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
To meet you.
Now, first of all, how bad was it to go bankrupt in 1860, whatever it was?
From a social perspective, a respected man like Henry, this attracts a huge moral stigma, and it's a huge reverse for this man.
So what happens to you, basically?
This is a report from the Essex Standard.
The Essex Standard. It comes up a lot. OK. This is about Hamblian, Colchester, who came to the court on his own petition on the 20th of October last, attributing his failure to losses in business.
Something has gone wrong in the common carrier business.
Yes, there was something about, he knew how to run the yard and the horses and the carriages, but suddenly he wanted to branch out. Maybe that's what happened.
That may well have been just too much.
He didn't know that business?
Yes.
Too much competition?
It's entirely possible. It's a competitive industry.
So losses in business, am I having some surety for my son-in-law? So who is this son-in-law?
Well, we can answer that by looking at this marriage certificate.
Here's Henry's daughter. Her name is Rosina. I know on the census I saw, she was described as a barmaid.
Yes.
She grew up quite fast, this girl.
Yes.
Marrying John Hum. He's a builder.
And in acting as a surety, what Henry was doing was assuming a liability.
He's a guarantor, basically.
It's a form of guarantor.
By acting as a surety for John Hum, Henry was not only liable for his own business debts, but also for a large part of his son-in-law's.
John has problems shortly before Henry has filed his own petition for bankruptcy.
This is in August, whereas
Yes.
that was in October. Mr. John F. Hum, builder of Colchester, who's brought up from the county jail
Yes.
as a prisoner for debt. Right. So he'd been sent down for not paying his debt.
Yes.
Now, John Hum, I presume he's going to have children.
John does have children at this point.
Now that'll be one reason why my ancestor was keen to make sure that he didn't get
Yes.
into, was acted as a surety for him.
Yes. Yes.
Because he was protecting his eldest daughter.
It would be very natural for a father to step in those
Absolutely.
circumstances to assist his daughter and to assist his grandchildren.
The collapse of his own business and his attempt to cover his builder son-in-law's debts led to Henry's ruin. But unlike John Hum, Henry avoided prison by voluntarily filing for bankruptcy and declaring all his debts.
We have a final entry here in the Court of Bankruptcy.
Henry Hamblian, the bankrupt, the accounts show creditors holding security £8,460.
Yes, that's an enormous sum.
That
It's
is.
equivalent probably to about £2.5 million today.
Henry handed over his considerable fortune in an attempt to pay off his debts, which amounted to more than £2.5 million in today's money.
What a shame to build all this up and then have it all go so horribly wrong. What a shame, eh? I'm sort of shattered by Henry's downfall, to be honest. And just the amount of money that was involved in this.
Nigel has gone online to see if he can discover what happened to Henry after his bankruptcy.
Hang on, let's just go to the top. This is from the Essex Standard, Friday the 17th of February, 1871. So we've now gone on 66, 67, 4 years later. Right. The Provident Asylum Society, a special meeting of the members of this useful institution, the next business was to consider the claim of Mr. Henry Hamblian be admitted on the foundation and to receive the usual benefits. Much commiseration was shown towards Mr. Hamblian in his present affliction, who was unanimously elected. What would that mean in Victorian times? The Provident Asylum Society. Well, there are two things. It might be that his affliction is that he's still got no money, but commiseration shown towards his present affliction. Maybe there's something actually gone wrong with him. This is driving him a bit mad. The first priority is to find out what happened to Henry. Also, I need to find out what happened to my ancestor, Elizabeth, who must be... She was 10 in 51. She must be in her 20s.
Nigel hopes that local historian Andrew Phillips can help him make sense of Henry's circumstances.
This is from the Essex Standard, your local paper. And I need you to tell me what the Provident Asylum Society is.
The Provident Asylum Society was set up for people of business and professional people to pay an annual subscription against the possibility that disaster might come their way.
There's a little security. So you do this in case your business fails. And Henry was bright enough to think, just in case this goes wrong, I'm going to pay into this.
That's right. He had the foresight to anticipate to cover himself. He was now eligible to the usual benefits, and they weren't nothing, because behind us stands, in fact, the Provident Asylum Society.
Oh, wow. It's very attractive houses.
Indeed.
So he has a roof over his head.
Self-help societies were common in Victorian England. There was no welfare state, and if a family fell on hard times, it risked ending up in the workhouse. But prudent businessmen like Henry could pay into a private fund like the Provident Asylum Society, insuring him against poverty and homelessness.
He's doing fine.
Yes, he's doing great. I mean, and he could start again, he could start another business.
Yes, but hang on, they were sympathising with his affliction.
Yes.
What does that suggest to
you? He might not be very well. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. It's a death certificate. 1871. Let me just, 1 second, let me just look at this. This was February the 17th, 1871. March, so a month later, he dies. It says here, cause of death, diseased heart, certified. So he had a heart attack, in other words, probably.
Probably.
So the probability is he was backing up almost to move in and had a...
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
He never made it.
What about the family?
The small print. Here we are, Rule 12.
Widows of members. In the event of the death of a member of the foundation who was a married man at the time of his admission, his widow shall continue to reside in the house, rent and tax-free. Oh, that's good. So he was really smart, wasn't he? He put aside and paid for this in case something had happened and showed what a wonderful man he was in many, many ways. But tell me, I really want to know what happened to my direct ancestor, Elizabeth Jr., so to speak.
I know.
When I last came across her, she was 10 years old.
We roll forward a further 10 years to 1881.
Yeah.
And I have here a copy of the census.
Oh, yeah. There's a man called George Buckingham.
And
Elizabeth. He's the shoe manufacturer. What does that say? I can't see what that says.
employing
50 men. Oh, he's a big time.
That's a significant size shoe factory.
We've got to where Elizabeth is married to Buckingham.
Yeah.
My Uncle Tony went and had lunch when he was 6 with those two.
Really?
Yes. And so we've now come, the whole circle has
That's
now
right.
joined up,
Yeah,
circle of life. But it occurs to me that behind us, Henry's wife, Elizabeth, is still living here.
That's right.
So-
And she lived long after his death,
She
to
did.
the age of 79.
Oh, wow, that's good.
And she died in this house, 1892. And she was buried with him in Colchester Cemetery.
Oh. Oh, look at this. Memory of Henry Hamblian, who died March 17th, 1871, aged 56 years. also of Elizabeth Hamblian, wife of the above, died December the 28th, 1892, aged 79. Well, they're together.